What's going on, guys? This is Travis Newman, and today I wanted to talk a bit about facing adversity and how to handle it. I feel like that this is something that can be hard for people to go through and to learn how to handle it correctly. So I'm going to share my personal experience with handling adversity and the things that I did that helped me to push through it. So my goal for making this video is to basically share my experience facing and handling adversity with you guys. So hopefully you guys can take some key points that I make in this video and apply it to something you might be facing right now. So for this particular example I'm going to give, it applies to having injuries and surgeries, just setbacks in sports, because I'm a soccer player. They were my first real struggles of facing adversity, but I'm going to share some things that have helped to push me and help me to handle my adversity that I think can apply to almost any form of adversity that you might be experiencing yourself. So basically, my first pretty significant experience with adversity was having injuries. I broke my collarbone freshman year of college. Then shortly after that, I broke my wrist. And then like a year and a half later, I fractured my foot and I had to get surgery on all three of those things. And I was sitting out for a good amount of time. I wasn't playing any soccer. I was just resting and trying to recover. Just to paint a picture for you guys, if you know me, you know that these injuries really affected me because of my love for the game and not being able to do what I love. But basically, I grew up playing the game. I fell in love with it at a very young age, and I've been playing throughout my whole life. And I really didn't know who I was without soccer. It was literally every aspect of my life. Everything I did literally revolved around soccer. It was almost like the start of an identity change, since I didn't know who I was without it. I kind of had to figure out who I was without it. And overcoming the adversity I did go through kind of helped me to realize who I was without soccer, but also I've been able to apply it to soccer as well as every other area of my life. But when these injuries happened, every single one of them, people would always start to ask me, "Oh, are you done playing?" and this and that, and they were just spreading a lot of negativity to me, and it really started to get to me. I'm not going to lie to you. It really started to get to me. People would say things to me like, "Oh, you always get injured, you're so injury prone." And if I was just doing something simple like walking, or "Oh, don't hurt yourself," just little smart remarks, that was really just spreading negativity whether they knew it or not. And hearing these types of negative things that people might throw at you, or things that you might even think yourself, can really affect you, even to the point where you actually start to believe it, and it almost becomes like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You'll end up getting hurt because you believe you get hurt. That was the case for me for a little while. But this leads me to my first point and what I did that helped me to kind of get through this adversity, which is to treat other people's word or your own thoughts as an offer or an opportunity to either accept or reject. So obviously, if someone says something negative to you, you want to reject it every single time. They keep saying it, you want to reject it over and over. And the same with when people say positive things to you, you want to accept those. Or when you say positive things to yourself, you accept those thoughts, but move on. I kept doing this until it became a habit. And now, whenever even a negative thought even starts to creep into my mind, or someone says something negative, my mind just automatically says, I reject that thought. So I don't allow it to get into my mind and influence me in any way. But before I was able to do that, I'd find myself asking questions like, oh, why does this have to happen to me? Why me? Why can't it just be something smaller? Why does this have to happen right now at this point in time? Especially when I broke my collarbone, and my second game back from recovering from my collarbone, I broke my wrist and I was out for another 6 weeks. I would always ask why? Why did this have to happen? And I got so focused on the problem that I was, and fear started to kind of creep into my mind, oh, you're falling behind all your teammates, you're not getting better, they're getting better than you. Everything just started kind of flooding into my mind, and it was not a fun time at all. But yeah, basically I was just dwelling on not being able to do what I love. Then there came a time where I had to just stop dwelling on it. It wasn't doing anything for me. So then I finally got myself to just accept what happened. And that is another important thing to take away from this video. If you're facing some type of adversity, you have to accept what happens and focus on what you're going to do about it next. That was a big turning point for me in facing my adversity because it allowed me to focus on solutions and not the problem anymore. It allowed me to focus on what I can control rather than focusing on the problem and what I can't control, something that already happened. And once I did this, I started coming up with plans for when I come back, like what I was going to do, how I was going to train, what days I was going to train, what time I was going to train, and just how hard I was going to go. Once I started doing this, it really gave me some motivation for when I got back. So I was just ready to just kind of catapult myself back to where I was and even greater than that. And this leads me to my next point, which is turning negativity into motivation, turning any type of fear that you might have, anything, just use it as fuel for you to just push through and have tremendous motivation and take a ton of action. I think that this really played a huge part in how much better I got as both a player and a person after I faced this adversity. And looking back now, I see how it really helped me to build my character and just make me mentally stronger and ready to just kind of take on anything that might come at me. And as I was going through this at the time, like I just didn't realize it, but now looking back on it, if this never happened to me, like, and I never had any injuries, I don't think I would be the person that I'm proud to be today. I wouldn't be as confident in myself. I wouldn't be as persistent, hardworking. I wouldn't have any of these qualities that I like to have. So if any of you are facing any type of adversity right now, I want you to understand that sometimes these things happen for you. And what I mean by that is they need to happen for you to be able to grow and to just keep getting better every single day, and to not look at it like, oh, it's happening to me, like I was. Because like I said earlier, I'd ask, why does this have to happen to me? But now I'm thankful that it happened for me. I truly believe that facing adversity is really just a great opportunity for you to grow and to just make yourself miles better than you were before. I know sometimes adversity can seem like such a huge setback. It certainly did for me at the time when I was going through this, but sometimes that's what you need in order for you to just kind of propel yourself forward. And so you kind of think of it like this. Say you're here and then adversity comes, a setback comes, you come down here. You were here, now you're here. But as you're going down and as you're down here, you're learning a bunch of things and building up your character so much that once you like start taking action and take off, you'll just come all the way up here and you were here. You have to have setbacks in order for you to grow, and you have to make mistakes in order for you to grow. And just remember, if you are facing adversity, or even if you haven't yet, I guarantee you probably will at some point in your life. I know I probably still will face some type of adversity, but it's important to just accept that whatever it is happened. Just accept what it happened and do not dwell on your situation. Instead, focus on what you can control and how you can make the best out of whatever situation you might be in. Then, once you do that, you want to come up with a plan. This will help kind of be your guide as to getting out of the struggle that you're in. And there's going to be people who are just going to start spewing negativity to you, and it's important, like this is probably one of the most important things, just reject it. Literally reject it and then stop thinking about it. Kind of treat it like you're just slamming the door on a thought or somebody. Just say, I reject it, boom. No one will be able to get to you and get inside your head like that and make you believe that whatever they might think or the negative thoughts that you have are true. That is one thing I still do to this day. Lastly, turn whatever emotions you're feeling about facing this adversity, like it might be anger, sadness, or frustration, just turn it into motivation and use that motivation to propel you into taking action. That's it for this video. I hope that this video gave you guys some sort of value that resonated with you. If it did, leave a like and subscribe. And if you are facing some adversity right now, leave a comment down below what it is and ways that you can kind of turn it around for yourself. I'd love to hear about it. Or if you want, message me privately. I'd be willing to help you out in coming up with a plan for helping you to face this adversity and handle it. Thank you all for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one.